Roger Federer, the 20-time Grand Slam champion and one of the most beloved figures in tennis history, stepped onto the grounds of the Miami Open for the first time since his retirement. The reaction was instant. The crowd erupted, cameras rushed toward him, and for a brief, magical moment, the entire sport seemed to pause, just to welcome back the man who had defined it for over 2 decades. Federer moved through the grounds with ease, greeting players, signing autographs, and soaking in the admiration that had never faded. But then, something unexpected happened. In the crowd, he spotted a familiar face. A young Filipina, just 20 years old, who had once trained at his rival's academy. Someone who had openly called him her inspiration. Someone who had been moved to tears when he announced his retirement. Alexandra Eala. Without hesitation, Federer walked over. The embrace was warm, genuine, effortless. Every camera caught it. But what they didn't fully capture was what happened just a few feet away. Aryna Sabalenka, the world #1 and reigning Miami Open champion, had been waiting for that exact moment. Like millions around the world, she had grown up idolizing Federer. This was supposed to be her chance to meet him. Instead, Federer passed by without noticing her, fully engaged in conversation with Eala. For a split second, time shifted. What was meant to be a celebration suddenly carried an unexpected edge, a quiet, human moment in the middle of a global spectacle. Federer's appearance at the Miami Open was always meant to be special. The man who retired in 2022 after a career built on elegance, dominance, and grace had returned to a stage where he created unforgettable memories. He had lifted the Miami Open trophy 4 times, in 2005, 2006, 2017, and 2019. The last of those victories came in style as he defeated John Isner in straight sets, 6-1, 6-4, a performance that perfectly captured the brilliance of a legend still at his peak. And now, years later, even without a racket in hand, Roger Federer was still creating moments the tennis world couldn't stop talking about. Remarkable comebacks have always been a defining part of tennis history, and moments like this felt just as powerful, even without a match being played. For Roger Federer, the Miami Open has always meant something deeper. It's a place where he wasn't just a champion, he was embraced like a returning king. So when he stepped onto the grounds of Hard Rock Stadium, the reaction was exactly what you'd expect, and somehow, still overwhelming. Fans lined the walkways, holding up signs with his name. Players hurried over, eager for even a moment of his time. Coco Gauff was there. Jessica Pegula followed. Even Iga Swiatek, known for her calm, focused demeanor, couldn't hide a smile. The energy was electric, spontaneous, the kind of atmosphere only Federer could create. But he wasn't there just for the applause. Even in retirement, Federer remained a student of the game. His visits weren't about reliving the past, they were about understanding the future, watching the next generation, connecting with the players who would carry tennis forward. And then he saw her. Near the practice courts stood Alexandra Eala. She wasn't surrounded by chaos or media frenzy, just a small group of fans. Easy to overlook if you didn't know her story. A slight figure in a Nike warm-up, signing autographs with that unmistakable, genuine smile. But Federer noticed immediately, because he knew exactly who she was. Eala looked up and froze. In that instant, everything slowed. The 20-time Grand Slam champion, the man she had grown up watching, the player she once called an icon of the sport, was walking straight toward her. What happened next felt almost symbolic. Federer stepped in and embraced her, warmly, naturally, like it was the most obvious thing in the world. Cameras caught it from every angle. His smile was wide, his expression genuinely joyful, and Eala looked like she might cry. It only lasted a few seconds, but it didn't need to be longer, because in that moment, it wasn't just a greeting. It felt like a passing of the torch. When they finally pulled apart, Federer leaned in and said something that made her laugh instantly, breaking the emotion of the moment. No microphones caught it. No one knows exactly what was said, but somehow that made it even more special. Roger Federer had smiled and teased her about her forehand, saying it looked even better than his. Alexandra Eala could only laugh. "He said it looked better than his," she told reporters with a grin. "I told him I still have a lot of work to do before I could even dream of that." But that embrace wasn't just kindness. It was recognition. Federer had always valued something beyond trophies, something harder to measure. Presence, grace, the ability to inspire. And in that brief interaction, it was clear he saw those same qualities in Eala. A player who carried herself with composure. A player who connected with fans. A player who represented something bigger than results. It was the very essence of what had made Federer beloved across generations. For Eala, the moment felt almost unreal. She had grown up watching Federer and Rafael Nadal define an era, their battles shaping the sport she would one day enter. But it was Federer's elegance that had always drawn her in. Back in 2022, after his retirement, she had said, "What I admire most about Roger is his grace, on the court and off it. His composure, and the way he carries himself, the image he's built over the years." Now, just a few years later, she was experiencing that grace firsthand. But while cameras focused on that heartwarming exchange, another story was quietly unfolding just a few feet away. Aryna Sabalenka, world #1, reigning Miami Open champion, and one of the most dominant forces in the game, had been waiting for her own moment. She had idolized Federer growing up, studied his game, imagined what it would feel like to meet him, not as a fan, but as a champion in her own right. And then, in an instant, that moment passed her by. As Federer walked past without noticing her, her expression changed. The smile faded. Her arms crossed. And when she finally turned away, the shift in energy was unmistakable. To those watching, it felt like a snub that didn't make sense. How could Federer overlook the world #1? A Grand Slam champion, a player at the very peak of the sport. But those close to Federer would later offer a simple explanation. He hadn't seen her. The crowd was thick. The moment with Eala was spontaneous, unplanned. Yet in the court of public opinion, context rarely matters. What mattered was the image. Federer and Eala locked in a warm embrace, while Sabalenka stood just behind them, arms crossed, expression unreadable. Within hours, that image spread across social media. And just like that, the tennis world split. Some saw an innocent oversight, a fleeting moment taken out of proportion. Others saw something deeper, a sign that the sport's old guard had already begun to embrace a new face, while established stars were left to stand on the sidelines. As for Sabalenka, she said nothing. No comments, no reactions, no headlines. She simply walked away. But those who knew her didn't need words. The tightened jaw, the squared shoulders. Sometimes, silence says more than anything else ever could. The world #1 had been overlooked, and Aryna Sabalenka is not the kind of competitor who forgets moments like that. To understand why Roger Federer's embrace of Alexandra Eala carried so much weight, you have to look beyond the surface, into history, relationships, and the future of the sport itself. Eala's journey is deeply tied to the Rafa Nadal Academy, where she trained for 7 years, shaping the game that has now put her on the global stage. And Federer's connection to that academy runs just as deep. He was there at its grand opening in 2016, standing beside his greatest rival, Rafael Nadal, celebrating not just a facility, but a vision for the future of tennis. That day, Federer openly acknowledged Nadal's impact on his own career. "You've been the one who influenced and inspired me the most. I had to reinvent my game because of you." It wasn't just respect, it was recognition. Over the years, Federer returned to the academy again and again, not out of obligation, but out of belief. In 2024, he visited to see how it had evolved, spending time with young players coming through the system, including Eala. In 2025, he returned once more, reuniting with Nadal in a moment that felt like a bridge between eras. Because the academy represents more than training. It represents continuity, a shared philosophy, a shared standard, a shared idea of what tennis should look like, not just in how it's played, but in how players carry themselves. And increasingly, that vision includes Alexandra Eala. Federer has followed her rise closely. He knows she trained under Tony Nadal, the architect behind Nadal's legendary mentality. He knows she's been described as one of the Academy's brightest success stories, alongside players like Casper Ruud. And he understands what she represents, not just as a player, but as a symbol for millions. A country of over 100 million people, many of whom had never seen someone like her on the stage. So when Federer embraced her, it wasn't random. It wasn't accidental. It was, in many ways, an endorsement. Meanwhile, Sabalenka said nothing. She kept playing, kept winning, kept moving through the draw at the Miami Open, where she arrived as defending champion and world number 1, still riding momentum after her triumph at Indian Wells Open. On paper, she had bigger priorities, but her silence carried weight, because Sabalenka has never been someone who hides how she feels. She's fiery, direct, unapologetic. When she felt disrespected by tournament decisions in the past, she spoke up. When questioned, she responded. When challenged, she pushed back. That's who she is. Which is why this moment felt different. This time, there were no words. Just an image that spread everywhere. Federer and Eala, locked in a warm embrace. Sabalenka in the background, arms crossed, expression tight. And the reaction was immediate. Some fans dismissed it as nothing, a simple oversight in a crowded, chaotic moment. Others saw something more controversial, a suggestion that the sport's most influential figures were already looking ahead, embracing a rising star, while established champions stood waiting. One viral reaction captured the divide perfectly. Sabalenka, world number 1, Grand Slam champion, proven at the highest level, overlooked, while a player still building her resume became the center of attention. It felt unfair to some, understandable to others. But here's the reality beneath all the noise. Moments like this aren't about rankings. They aren't about titles. They're about connection. Federer didn't choose a resume. He responded to a moment. And yet, in elite sport, perception is everything. So while the truth may have been simple, that he just didn't see her, the impact was anything but. And whether justified or not, you could understand why some believed she had every right to feel frustrated. It's not about rankings, one fan argued online. It's about what she represents. She's carrying a nation. She's inspiring millions who never even followed tennis. Roger Federer understands that because he did the same. As for Aryna Sabalenka, she refused to feed the narrative. When asked about the incident after her match at the Miami Open, she offered only a controlled response. "I'm focused on my tennis. That's what matters." A simple answer, but those who know her could read between the lines. The smile was measured, the tone restrained, the fire still there. Because champions don't forget moments like that. For Alexandra Eala, though, the experience meant something entirely different. It was unforgettable. She had grown up watching Federer, studying his elegance, admiring his composure, inspired by the legacy he built over decades. And now, to be recognized by him, to share that moment, it meant more than rankings or results ever could. "I still can't believe it happened," she said quietly days later. Roger Federer is Roger Federer. He's the reason so many of us picked up a racket. For him to say those things, to take the time to talk to me, I'll never forget it. When asked about Sabalenka and the growing controversy, Eala handled it with the same grace that had drawn Federer to her in the first place. "I didn't see what happened," she said. "I was just focused on my moment with Roger. He was so kind, so generous. I hope people can just appreciate how special it was." No drama, no tension, just perspective. But the impact of that embrace went far beyond emotion. Federer's recognition sent a message, loud and clear, to the tennis world. She belongs, not just as a rising player, but as a presence. A figure who could draw crowds, inspire fans, and elevate the sport in new markets. And Eala was already doing exactly that. Selling out sessions, crashing ticket systems, bringing an entirely new audience into tennis. For a player who hadn't yet reached a Grand Slam quarterfinal, her influence was already undeniable. Still, the moment created something no one had planned. A narrative. Because tennis thrives on rivalries, and suddenly, Whether they liked it or not, Sabalenka and Eala were being placed on opposite sides of one. They had never faced each other, never exchanged words, never shown any tension. And yet, one image changed everything. Sabalenka in the background, arms crossed. Federer and Eala in the foreground, locked in a smile.
Social media did the rest.
Was she upset? Was she overlooked? Would it affect her on court? Those close to Sabalenka dismissed it quickly. She's a competitor, one insider said. She wants to win. That's it. She doesn't have time for drama. But whether she wanted it or not, the drama had already arrived. And as she prepared for her semi-final, that moment, brief, silent, but powerful, stayed with her. Fuel, motivation, a reminder. Federer had walked into the Miami Open expecting to celebrate the sport he loves. Instead, he sparked a conversation that rippled across the entire tennis world. What was meant to be a simple act of kindness, a warm, genuine embrace, became something far bigger. For Sabalenka, it was a moment of being overlooked. For Eala, it was validation beyond measure. Two completely different experiences born from the same instant. Eala walked away with her heart full, her future brighter than ever. Sabalenka walked away in silence, focused, composed, but unmistakably driven. And somewhere beneath Hard Rock Stadium, as one player carried joy and the other carried resolve, a storyline had begun, not because of rivalry, but because of perception. And in tennis, sometimes that's all it takes.